As personal trainers, we know how to teach families injury prevention. But when it comes to our own money, we are one disaster away from ruining everything for our families. Welcome to my channel. My name is Coach Nelly, and I'm the creator of Fit Method, which stands for Freedom Through Financial Literacy, Insurance, and Training. And in this particular video, I want to explain the importance of having term life insurance policy, especially if you're a personal trainer. Now, look, in this particular career, and I've been in the career for more than 2 decades, we are fantastic in order to spot any potential risk when it comes to injuries, when it comes to athletic performance, or just everyday life. So we start to notice, okay, is your gait off a little bit? You know, is our lumbar spine a little bit off? Are we imbalanced? Because if we don't address those now, then it could lead to really, really bad repercussions later on. But when it comes to the career and we start thinking about money and what could happen to us and our careers and our families, things get a little bit hazy. So one of the things that I love talking about is how to protect financial ruin for families, especially if you're a personal trainer. And let's talk about this one thing called term life insurance policies. Now, why am I even bringing this topic up? Why am I even thinking about life insurance? It's because we tend to have this habit of not thinking and not planning of the worst case scenario. Look, we're all going to die at some point. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. And in your own personal life, you may have come across some family member or some friend who have passed away well before their time. And you don't really think about it until you are personally affected by it. Now, when you turn the tables around, you don't want to be that person, and let alone if your demise impacts your loved ones. It really, really sucks. And so, of course, if we are in the mindset of being really good at preventing the worst case scenario, or at least mitigating the risk of that and the repercussions of that, then we should also take that same mindset when it comes to our own money. So let's have a real talk about term life insurance policies. Now, if you are not independent and you are not 1099, you are probably working as a W-2 at a big box gym or some type of center, fitness center, and incorporated into your benefits package is probably one of those benefits where you can opt into life insurance. Now, have you done that? It is a great start, but it falls underneath the umbrella of what we call term life insurance policies. Let's go over what that is. Term life insurance policy is your straightforward coverage that in the case that you were to pass away, there is going to be a lump sum of money that gets passed on to who you designate as your beneficiaries. Oftentimes, if you are a parent, you designate your beneficiaries as your children. If you're in a relationship, you probably designate your significant other. Now, if you're single with no children, you can designate any family member, really. Now, if you were to pass away, that lump sum of money can range in between the tens of thousands all the way up into the hundreds of thousands. It really depends on what type of premium payments that you are putting into that. Now, if you opted it through your work, then your premium payments are deducted from your paycheck. Now, similarly, if you got that term life insurance policy outside of your employer, that policy is now going to be out of pocket, right? It operates the same. There's going to be a lump sum of money that gets passed on to your beneficiaries. Now, why is this even important? Are you going to die within the next day or so? Honestly, who knows? That's the reality of it. Now, when you think about it, why is money going to be given to your survivors anyway? Well, the intention is that money helps your survivors continue on without you. It can be used to pay for things like funeral expenses. If you have children, it could be used to pay down tuition or your mortgage or any type of outstanding family debt. Now, the reason why people even created life insurance policies is really for the family structure to help the survivors carry on because you are a significant contributor to the household income. Now, if suddenly that household income is lost, what are the survivors going to do? It's already hard enough to be grieving by your being away and you're being gone. Now, you don't want to add on any type of financial burden to the family. Now, in terms of affordability of all different types of life insurance policies, this is going to be your more affordable one. Now, let's say ballpark, if you are a healthy 20-something-year-old, then typically the death benefit would be valued around $250,000, and your premium payments can range anywhere between $20 a month up to like $40. It really does depend. Now, what advantage that personal trainers have over anybody else? On a whole, we tend to be the healthiest, the fittest. And because of that, we tend to qualify for the best of premium payments life insurance policies have to offer, opposed to people who are older and let's say that they're smokers or they even have sedentary careers where they don't get the opportunity to work out as often. So they are more at risk of cardiovascular disease or any type of disease that would decrease their lifespan. So, what I do recommend if you are a personal trainer who is in the most optimal health, this is going to be the perfect time in order to get term life insurance policies. Now, one caveat about that is term policies are temporary. They only really cover you for about 10, 20, up to 30 years. Now, your premium payments remain steady during that term, but if you do not cancel it at the end of that term, then the insurance company is going to increase that premium payment amount. So you want to make sure that come to the end of that term, you want to either make a decision. Do you want to renew that? Do you want to get a different term policies? Or now do you want to convert it to a permanent policy that will take you all the way to your senior citizen years? Now, is term life insurance even needed? Is life insurance even needed for you? Well, yes and no. Just because it's not an obligation of all the different insurances that you need doesn't mean that it's not a good idea. So let's review. You're required to get homeowners insurance, you're required to get medical insurance, and you're required to get car insurance. But just because life insurance is optional to you, it doesn't mean that you should not be planning for the worst. Because again, when we think about the people we have lost in our lives, and all the events that happened thereafter, what difference would it make if there was some type of financial reprieve for the survivors sitting there and you don't want to be the cause of financial distress for your loved ones? If you have any questions how term life insurance policy works and how it applies for the personal training career, look down below and let's get on a call together. Go ahead and book your call.